Final update, my dad saved the day. So I'm back, and a lot has happened since my last post. To be honest, it's been a whirlwind and I'm still trying to wrap my head around everything. If you've been following this story, you know my sister Janelle refused to back down on her decision to name her baby Allison, despite the fact that my wife Carrie and I had already named our late daughter Allison. Janelle's refusal to choose a different name, along with her completely delusional, selfish attitude, proved what I've always known: she only thinks of herself. When I told my family that I would no longer be attending family events if Janelle named her baby Allison, my mom was furious. She called me, screaming that I was overreacting and ruining the family over something as silly as a name. But I was done. I informed my mom and Janelle that I wasn't going to Thanksgiving, Christmas, or any other holiday if Janelle went through with it. I couldn't face seeing my niece with my daughter's name, and I wouldn't be able to look at Janelle ever again. And then, something completely unexpected happened. My dad, the man who has been a dish rag his whole life, meek, mild-mannered, and never one to stand up to my mom or sister, stepped up. Out of nowhere, he told Janelle that if she used the name Allison, she would be cut off from the family. Not only that, but she would no longer be allowed to visit or attend any family gatherings again. And he wasn't bluffing. Here's the kicker. I didn't know this at the time, but my dad has been secretly helping Janelle with her mortgage payments for the past year or so. Apparently, she and her husband were struggling and my dad was footing part of the bill every month. Well, after Janelle's stubborn refusal to change the name, he took that back. He told her if she didn't promise to stop with the nonsense, the financial help would end. And then, in a moment that blew all of our minds, my dad said something no one saw coming. He told the whole family, "I don't even know why anyone would want to name a kid after that bitch Allison anyway." For context, Grandma Allison, who Janelle was supposedly trying to honor, died when we were young, and my mom had always talked about her like she was some saint. But my dad, he finally opened up about who she really was, and it turns out she was awful. Here are 3 stories he told us that completely changed our view of her. 1. The house stealing incident. Apparently, Grandma Allison once convinced her own sister to sell her house to her at a family discount during a tough time, promising she'd let her stay until she got back on her feet. Instead, she sold it a month later at market value for a huge profit, and kicked her sister out without warning. 2. The borrowed money. Allison used to borrow money from friends and family members saying she was in financial trouble, but it turned out she was hoarding the money. My dad found out years later she had thousands of dollars stashed away in a secret account while people around her were struggling to make ends meet, and she never paid anyone back. 3. The funeral manipulation. When her husband, my grandfather, passed away, she pretended to be a grieving widow and demanded all kinds of sympathy from the family. Meanwhile, my dad found love letters from another man that proved she had been cheating on him for years. She used his death as a way to gain pity and money from family members, knowing full well she'd been unfaithful the whole time. After hearing all this, I was stunned. My whole life, I'd believed the myth that Grandma Allison was some paragon of virtue because of my mom's stories. But Dad finally broke his silence. And it turns out she was just a manipulative, selfish person. Dad said, "If you're looking up to that woman, you're a fool." It was a complete bombshell, and it definitely changed Janelle's perspective. My dad told her she was cut off financially and she wasn't welcome at Sunday dinners or any other family gatherings unless she dropped her bullshit. The next day, Janelle apologized. It was pretty obvious it was a forced apology, but I didn't care. I just wanted her to stop with the name nonsense. And surprise, surprise, it worked. Janelle's baby was born last week and she is named Chloe Jane, not Allison. So apparently Dad's tough stance actually made an impact. I've honestly never seen him stand up to anyone, let alone my mom and sister, but he did, and it completely changed the situation. I'm proud of him for finally putting his foot down. So for now, it seems like things are settling down. Janelle has backed off and we can hopefully move forward without the constant drama. But I'll be honest, this has opened my eyes to a lot of things about my family I hadn't seen before. Still, I'm just relieved that my daughter's memory won't be overshadowed by Janelle's selfishness. So far, so good.